The U.S. again, 2-0 victors over Canada. Let's send it down to the field and Lindsey Horan.
How was the overall performance today?
I think it's awesome. We came out there and battled, and we always know it's going to be a hard game against Canada. They're a great team, and they came at us too and kept fighting. We hung with them in the first half, and I think the second half we just came out, harder and wanted that goal, and we got one. And Becky served an amazing ball, so I'm just happy.
Coach Ellis said the prep begins today for Rio next year. Will this team be ready for Rio next year?
I think so. I mean, we have a few months to go to keep prepping. We got some big tournaments coming up and playing some great teams, so I think that's awesome for us, and keep training and get ready for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can we get our Canadian team now?
Sure. Obviously, a younger team today, and Jill mentioned how it starts today, the prep for Rio next year. How do you think this team will look this time next year?
I think it's looking great. Really proud of this team. We've had some players really step up. Lindsey Horan getting a goal. She's been doing really well. Mallory coming in, playing really well. I think Tobin doesn't get enough credit as she deserves. She put in, a great finish the other night and another one tonight. So overall, great stuff for our defense. I think we just got to keep it going now.
Thanks, Colin.
Lloyd had her chances throughout this match. The American captain unable to convert, but it was Tobin Heath
Always a tough
and
game
Lindsey Horan
against the
as we hear from
States.
Shalina
Overall, the
Zadorsky
performance, how
of the Canadian defense.
It's tough because we came here to do a job, and it's kind of half done. Of course, we're excited about Rio, but we came here to win this game, this final. So, of course, it's disappointing. We're going to learn from it. It's a good experience playing the #1 team, so we're going to move up from here.
So your partnership with Gadisha at the back is growing. Every game it seems to get better and better and better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's a great player to play alongside, and I think just these international matches, like at this quality, it's going to get us better and better.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Some consolation for Zadorsky and her Canadian teammates as they will head to a third straight Olympic Games. Let's listen in to Melissa Tancredi.
It's good. It's a building experience for sure. We didn't come here to lose. It's just taking all our chances. We could have taken a better chance on them, and we could have stayed a little tighter. A little fatigue came in, but overall, good experience to get everyone in, get a little taste of what it's like to play against the U.S. in the U.S. So,
what can the young players learn from this kind of game against the world champions?
You really have to be on. You really can't shut off in the middle of the game. You have to keep the intensity going. It's going to be taxing physically, and it's just a learning experience, really.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Interesting note there from Tancredi. You can't shut off in the middle of the game. It was a 10-minute stretch in the second half where the Americans turned this match around, took a 2-0 lead that they would not relinquish. Okay, we talked about the bad blood between these two teams. Nothing overwhelming in this match, but certainly a physical encounter, and that's kind of what we expected.
It's the most combative game we've seen the entire tournament. But it's more just the extra nudges that are unnecessary from behind that aggravates the United States. But I get why Canada does it. It's disruptive, and it's part of the process they have, and they're trying to figure out in the style they play with the insertion of new, talented, technical youngsters. But I like the comment that Carly Lloyd said. It's about Tobin Heath. She doesn't get enough credit, and I agree with that. This is the sharpest I've ever seen Tobin Heath this far out from a competition.
August 3rd, when the Olympic women's soccer tournament will begin down in Rio, as we see the hardware making its way from the bowels of BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Kate, I don't want to nitpick, but there were 2 goals to this tournament. Qualify for Rio and figure out where you are ahead of the Olympics. So if there's an area to work on or something we can take away from this competition, what is it for Jill Ellis and company?
The United States is trying to work on penetration through possession. That's what she told me when I talked to her this morning. But you see it. She's trying to get her midfielders to turn in the pocket. When they lost Lauren Holiday, they lost a key part of the sophistication of this team, and now they're trying to build it, and they have it with Morgan Bryant. They're trying to get it out of Lindsey Horan, who you're seeing with her long-range ability. They are trying to break down teams and create their own space through possession, and that's what I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first award is the
Let's send it to the field now for the handing out of the hardware, the individual awards from this competition.
The next award is the Golden Glove Award, which honors the tournament's top goalkeeper. To receive the Golden Glove Award, please give a round of applause to Hope Solo from the United States of America. The top goal scorer of the tournament will now receive the CONCACAF Women's Olympic Qualifier Championship Golden Boot Award. From the United States, Crystal Dunn. We now honor the best player of the tournament. To receive the Scotiabank Golden Ball Award from the United States, Morgan Bryan. CONCACAF presents medals of recognition to honor tonight's match officials.
All right, Kate, so we've just seen the handing out of the individual players awards. Again, the team fair play went to the United States. Real clean sweep for the Americans. Golden Glove, Hope Solo, Golden Boot. Crystal Dunn, she finished the tournament with 6 goals, 5 of them coming against Puerto Rico in the group stage. And the Golden Ball, I found interesting, to Morgan Bryan. Her game may be understated a bit, but the voters clearly saw the value she brought to this U.S. team.
Well, she's the catalyst for all the attack. Think about it. She's always coming off the back line and setting play, not only with short passes, but it's with longer ones as well. She's able to pass and move, and she never stops moving, and because of that, she creates momentum for the offense and also sets up her teammates in better offensive positions where then they can impact the game.
As we take a look at the disappointed Canadians set to receive their second place medals in Houston. It's a feeling they're familiar with. Been to the final of this competition in 2008, 2012, and now 2016, each time falling short to the U.S. squad. Let's focus back in on the central midfield pairing for Jill Ellis. She's putting a lot of trust into very young players in Morgan Bryan and Lindsey Horan. Is that where not just the future, but the present of the U.S. central midfield lies?
She's trying to develop a sophisticated side to the United States. That's the one area that I would say, relative to other countries, the decision-making ability in tight spaces is the area that the United States needs to improve upon. I mean, they're the fittest, they're the fastest, they're the most physical, and they can outplay any team on the park between the 70th and the 110th minute in some cases. So what's left? It's not their sophistication isn't bad. They're just trying to improve it as best it can be. Those two players can do that for you. Horan, she's grown in Europe. She sees the game differently than anybody else. She gives you something different. She's still growing in that role. We have yet to see the best of her. And she even mentions herself, she has to learn how to get fitter. That's something that she's been trying to do. So as a center midfield, once she gets that, she gets her legs under, then we get to see what her legs can do.
What about this Canadian side, managed by John Herdman, the Englishman? Coming off an Olympic bronze medal in 2012. Are they on a similar trajectory for this summer?
That's yet to be seen. It's going to depend on how Sinclair does and how he manages his veterans and deals with the youngsters that are coming up. The man management of him is going to be critical, like we saw of Jill Ellis in the World Cup and how she managed the veterans that might have been aging and not quite at the top of their level and how she managed them so it did not disrupt the World Cup. And we saw Julie Johnson, a young player, emerge, and Morgan Bryan, and be key and critical to the United States winning that World Cup.
The United States set to receive their winners' medals in Houston. anchored by a back line tonight. Kelly O'Hara, Julie Johnston, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Megan Klingenberg. Pretty much the same back four, include Hope Solo, back five, that we saw at the Women's World Cup, with the exception of Ali Krieger, who was on the bench tonight. The U.S. didn't give up a goal in this tournament. You could say they weren't really tested. But tell me a little bit about what we learned about this back four and the one minor change of Kelly O'Hara for Ali Krieger.
They're trying to improve their ability to set play from the back. And they're doing that with advanced positions from Klingenberg, who likes to go forward anyway. And now that right back spot, which is between Krieger and O'Hara at this point. And then you have two center backs that are learning how to set play. Becky Sauerbrunn, that's more natural for her. And Julie Johnston, you know, she's learning that role. Now, she had a huge World Cup, but I always find it's really difficult to have that much of an impact your second season on the national team. And that's, so far, she's done well. They isolated her on attack tonight. They wanted her to try to play out of it, and she did a very good job spinning out of pressure and trying to set play. So she's improved just in the matter of this one game. And it was just a matter of confidence, which now she has.
Back-to-back Olympic qualifying tournaments for the United States without conceding a goal. Their dominance over CONCACAF is complete, with a 2-0 victory over Canada in Houston this evening. The United States is headed to Rio. 9 of the 12 spots at the Brazil Olympics spoken for. The United States and Canada set to join the host Brazil, as well as Colombia, New Zealand, France, Germany, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Let's send it down to the field once more for the presentation of the championship trophy.
Your 2016 CONCACAF Women's Olympic Qualifying Champions, the United States of America!
Three goals for, 0 goals against. The United States unblemished in their run through this competition. Kate, a busy schedule coming up for this U.S. women's national team. March 3rd through the 9th, the She Believes Cup. It'll feature the United States, England, France, Germany. That is a loaded tournament. And then on April 6th in East Hartford, Connecticut, a friendly against Colombia. Same Colombia side the Americans faced at last summer's World Cup.
It's going to be an incredible test. The biggest test they will have in their lead up to the Olympics is the She Believes Tour. They're going to be playing against some of the best teams in the world back to back to back, and it's going to be a great learning experience for the new players, but also a litmus test for the coach to see where they're at and where this team needs to get to in order to give themselves the best chance to bring home the gold medal in Rio.
Again, your individual awards for the competition: Golden Glove, no surprise, United States goalkeeper Hope Solo. Golden Boot to Crystal Dunn. Her 6 goals, tied with Costa Rica's Raquel Rodriguez for the tournament's top spot. And Golden Ball to United States midfielder Morgan Bryan. Just 22 years old, but locking down a critical position in Jill Ellis's formation. For Kate Markgraf, I'm Sebastian Salazar. Thanks for watching. The United States, Canada, the Americans once again, CONCACAF